statistics that were shocking, that every year 500,000, 500,000 adolescent girls become pregnant. And when they become pregnant, they turn into a cycle of poverty. And therefore, this is a complete pushback of gains that are being made. So as we address this problem of the child abuse, we got good partners. A law firm of Kaplan and Stratton donated a witness protection screen to shield child witnesses from seeing their perpetrators as the cases are being tried. So, Honorable CS, you'll also be unveiling those screens, and as you unveil them, we hope that you will make a prayer that no child will have to undergo trauma as they relive the experiences of abuse. This law firm has donated some 24 screens to be used in the courts. As everybody is asking you for resources, we will also be asking for resources to make sure that every court station has a screen to protect the victims from seeing the perpetrators. The report also shows out of the 6 institutions of justice, the police, the office of the DPP, the probation, the judiciary, it is only one institution that has a budgetary allocation to deal with children. Yet all other institutions deal with children. So like everybody else, we are calling for budgetary allocations to make sure that children are protected. And this is the season when we have been talking about Ereta Zero, that there will be zero tolerance to violence against children. Our children need to be protected. We hope from this forum we can come up with a declaration of Operation Linda Mtoto from violence. Bwana CS, the President has taught us to dream, and this dream is it's got also numbers, the Big 4 agenda. We as the task force, as we put together this report, we are the Big 7 that we are dreaming about for justice for children. So the National Council on the Administration of Justice, the Special Task Force on Children Matters, calls upon the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, the Office of the Attorney General, to immediately enact the Children Bill 2019, which will ensure the children's rights are protected. Honorable CS, we are also asking for coordination of matters of children. There should be established a standing committee on child justice, policy implementation, and quality control by the National Council on the Administration of Justice, so that there is reporting permanently on the implementation and monitoring how the implementation of the children's rights are being protected by every institution. The Chief Justice has given an undertaking that cases involving children will be fast-tracked. The task force has developed protocols on case management so that cases of children going to court do not suffer delay. The court to handle the cases of children quickly, and to adopt the month of November, which we have been doing for the last 3 years, as the service week for children. During that month, all cases involving children can be heard, and therefore children can be able to go to school. We have also gone around the child-owning institutions and found there is no education being offered to most of them. So we are calling upon quality primary and secondary education to be provided in rehabilitation schools, both institutions and remand homes by the Ministry of Education in coordination with the Department of Children's Services. We are also calling for diversion. We want to avoid the formal justice system for our children as much as possible. So we ask these cases be mediated or diverted whenever possible, except for cases involving child abuse and cases under the sexual offenses, which under no circumstances should be taken to formal courts. We are also asking that the institutions of justice be strengthened through adequate budgetary allocations, resources and oversight mechanisms to improve the conditions where the children are held. We call on the public and private sector institutions and agencies at the national and county government level to create safe spaces for us, for the children to channel issues of abuse. Sometimes children have nowhere to report. The police stations are far apart. There is also bureaucracy of reporting, so we are requesting that there be accessible, safe spaces where children can report. That is what is contained in Volume 1 of the report that we'll be launching. Volume 2 of the report is a compendium of documents that have been prepared by the Special Task Force containing the Children Bill 2019. When appears, you can just take it to the cabinet and it can be taken to Parliament. It is ready. It has practice directions for case management of children matters, protocols on how to run a child-friendly court, and to establish a children court user committee that tracks how children in the justice system are being attended to. We have also practitioners' guide on how to handle children. All the practitioners who handle children, from the social workers to the advocates, to the courts, to the police, all of them have a protocol. We have revised the protection and care forms to be used in place of the charge sheets, because we do not want a child to bear a burden of having been charged with a criminal offense. So we recommend that the protection and care forms, which were adopted by the IG, be used. We are also recommending the immediate implementation of the Through Care guidelines, which tell every institution what they should do when they are dealing with a child. The accompanying documents to the report, which we are calling Volume 2, will aid reports, which, if implemented, will guarantee protection and promotion of the rights of the children as enshrined in the Constitution. We also offer these recommendations as a sign of introspection. We are asking ourselves, where have we failed our children 30 years since the CRC, which we committed ourselves to? And in that introspection, we are renewing our commitment that Kenya made to CRC, and we are saying that today is the turning point for the life of the Kenyan child. All the instruments that are required to change and transform the way we nurture our children and ensure they realize their potential are all in the compendium. I thank you all for pledging your commitment and by attending this ceremony. Long live our children and long live CRC. Thank you very much.
ladies and gentlemen, Waziri Ambassador Yatani comes to us as the CS Labor and Social Protection. He is also acting CS National Treasury, appointed by His Excellency the President. He comes to us, ladies and gentlemen, as representing His Excellency the President in this function. Waziri Karimu.
Distinguished guests, our dear children, the various partners who are here, leaders of all shades of lives, ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you to represent our President, who would have really loved to be here, but because of the exigency of work, he has delegated me to represent him at this very important function that he holds very dear to his heart. It's about our children, it's the future and the present of this country, and he holds very dear. And now I'll just proceed and read his speech. It gives me great pleasure to join the global community of nations in celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Conventions on the Rights of the Child. 30 years ago, world leaders made a historic commitment to children by adopting the convention, hence recognizing children as both individual rights holders, as well as having the right to special protection and safeguards. The CRC Convention is the only human rights treaty with the highest number of ratifications in history. Kenya became a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child on 30th July 1990, and was the 20th member to ratify the instrument, giving effect to the convention. This was a major milestone in the promotion and protection of children's rights and welfare in Kenya, and a testimony to our commitment to upholding the rights and dignity of our children. I am proud to know that our commitment to this convention as a country has been recognized through representation on the 18th member UN Committee on the Right of the Child. Kenya's own Honorable Lady Justice Joyce Aloch served as the Vice Chair of the committee between 1st March 2005 and 2018 February 2007. Our dear children, ladies and gentlemen, as we join the rest of the world in marking this event today, we are particularly focused on taking stock of the status of our children as a nation. This is a moment of celebrating the gains we have realized in the protection and the welfare of children since the adoption of the CRC, reflect on the gaps and renew our commitments to children's agenda in our country. Kenya domesticated the convention through the Constitution, the Children's Act 2010, 2001, and various other laws and policies. Our country has one of the most progressive and child-friendly constitutions in the world. Most of the rights contained in the conventions have been enshrined in our constitution, mainly in Article 53, which is exclusively about children, and other articles. The family, which is recognized in the convention as the natural environment for the growth and well-being of children, has been accorded due prominence in the Constitution. Our dear children, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya government is committed to the promotion, protection, and realization of the rights of the child. To ensure children's survival and growth, various programs such as universal health coverage, the Beyond Zero campaign by Her Excellency, the First Lady, mandatory fortification of wheat flour, maize flour and oil with vitamins, and joining the Scaling Up Nutrition movement have been initiated to decrease child and maternal mortality, while at the same time ensuring improvement in the nutritional status of infants and children under 5 years. On children's right to free and compulsory basic education, my government expanded the free primary school program and initiated free tuition in secondary school program. Further, my government has been progressively improving infrastructure in schools, taking into consideration the needs of children with special needs. We have 3,464 special needs institutions, out of which 2,713 are integrated, while 734 are specialist schools. A major achievement in ensuring access to education for children with disabilities is the integration of special needs education in primary schools through inclusive education. Further, to ensure orphans and vulnerable children remain in school, my government, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, disburses Kenya shilling 400 million annually through the Presidential Secondary School Bursary Program to vulnerable children. In addition, the government has continued to increase funding for the special protection sector to support vulnerable population, including orphans and vulnerable children. During this financial year 2019-2020, my government allocated Kenya shilling 25.65 billion to Inua Jamii Cash Transfer Program that provides cash subsidy to older persons, orphans and vulnerable children, and persons with severe disability. The orphans and vulnerable children component reaches 353,000 households. Children, ladies and gentlemen, in order to enhance children's right to protection, the government has continued to strengthen child protection system and structures under the coordination of the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection. It has been spearheading the review of the Children's Act, and a draft bill on the same is to the Attorney General at the moment. The review is to align the children law with the Constitution and effectively address emerging child protection issues. I urge all concerned parties, including Parliament, to ensure the bill is enacted into law without further delay. Our children need it and deserve it. Further, the government has formulated various policies and enacted laws for protection of children. These include the National Children Policy, the Sexual Offences Act, the Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Act, Counter-Trafficking Persons Act, among many other acts that are geared towards protecting and empowering the children of this country. The government has also doubled efforts to protect children from harmful cultural practices, including female genital mutilation and child marriage. The government is also working with communities to pursue all harmful cultural practices are eliminated while preserving good cultural, socio-cultural attributes in conformity with our own customary laws. Ladies and gentlemen, I recognize the rapid globalization and technological changes taking place in the world have had both positive and negative influences on our lives and those of our children. We need to adopt the positive changes to improve our lives while remaining conscious of the negative influences to our children. It is in this regard that we have adopted measures to protect our children, including signing the We Protect Global Alliance that seeks to protect children from online abuse and exploitation, the establishment of Children Protection Unit at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, operationalization and trust fund to assist victims of trafficking, including children, establishment of Child Prosecution Unit at the Directorate of Public Prosecution, among many other initiatives. To promote the global shift from institutional care for children, Kenya government will dedicatedly pursue transformation of institutional care through strengthening families and communities to take care of their children. Arising from the judicial reforms initiated based on the Constitution promulgated in 2010, all magistrates have been given jurisdictions to handle children matters even where there are no specialized children's courts. This is to enhance access to justice for children requiring judicial interventions. Ladies and gentlemen, child participation is a critical pillar in the Convention. To advance this right, my government initiated the Kenya Children's Assembly, a platform that accords with the policymakers. The forum includes our country has made great strides in actualizing child participation rights, a feat that has been recognized globally. Kenya was among 5 countries and the only African country that developed Together for Children, guidelines for NGOs accompanying children in CRC reporting, published in 2011. Our very own Rosalie Nolan, who was 14 years then, and Jane Bugwa participated in this process, and I think they deserve a clap, wherever they are. As Africans, we recognize that our cultural values espouses responsibility and accountability at a young age. As a country, therefore, we have not only embraced children's rights, but have also ensured that our children have responsibilities, first to themselves, to their families, to the community and country, as per African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of Children, which we are signatory to. Dear children and distinguished guests present, to further our commitment to the United Conventions of the Rights of the Child, my government has begun the ratification process for the optimal protocol on the sale of children, child prostitution, and child pornography, and the optional protocol on our communication procedure. Ratification of these optional protocols will strengthen protection for Kenya's children in the face of new threats such as online sexual exploitations. Children, ladies and gentlemen, despite all this significant progress, I'm aware that a lot still needs to be done to ensure every child access every right in every part of this country. The government is willing to partner with UNICEF, international and other national organizations to achieve more milestones for the children. Together we can make a difference in the lives of our children. Today, I wish to laud the following activities contributing to the improvement of the rights and welfare of children by launching the following reports. 1. The report of the National Council on Administration of Justice, the Special Task Force on Children Matters. The report documents the status of children in the administration of justice, the gaps and challenges, achievements and successes, insights and recommendations to ensure that justice for children, both victims and those in conflict with the law, is dispensed with expeditiously and in line with the best interest of the child principle. 2. Faith and children's rights, multi-religious study. This is a multi-religious study on the Convention on the Rights of the Child, conducted by Arigatao International and UNICEF. The study concludes that religious texts and the Convention share a common vision for children, including the family-centered values of both religious and rights-based approaches. To this effect, I urge all faiths and religious leaders to make today a special day for prayer and action for children in every part of our great country. 3. Signing the Global Pledge, recommitting the government of Kenya to this ratification of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, a process led by UNICEF. Our dear children and the guest present, I now wish to appreciate the Committee on the Convention on the Rights of the Child for their steadfast work for the last 2 decades. I acknowledge the contributions of our development partners, service providers, and all stakeholders to the child care and protection sector in Kenya. It is through your support and collective efforts that Kenya joins the global movement, as I declare today, for every child, every right. Together we can build a better future for children and the world they will inherit. I hereby lead my government in renewing the commitments we made to children 30 years ago to respect the principles and implement the rights enshrined in the Convention, to ensure survival, development, protection, and participation for all children in Kenya. Together we shall live up to the theme of today's conference, for every child, every right. I thank you and God bless you. I'm sure you know it will be impolite for me to add any further comments, and I want to thank you and express the solidarity not only of our government and even particularly of the Ministry of Labor that will be working with you through this journey, because the well-being of the children of this country is a reflection of the health of the country itself, and we are determined to have a maximum score on this. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Another session which is very critical, the launch of the report. But Waziri, before we go there, we wish to appreciate a number of new friends, particularly the children who have traveled from that far to Turkana, Kalonga, Mandera, Marsabit, Hispania, Busia, Taveta, you see, Iwajia. That's great. So we wish you well as you travel back. So we'll go to the next session of the launch of the report.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause to our guests. Makofi tafadhali, watoto mko. Watoto mko. Haya, tujitayarishe. And as we prepare, eyes on the screen, eyes on the screen, eyes on the screen. It's a story of an Indian boy telling us to be at the forefront of leadership. The vehicles were stuck on the road and people were waiting for the government to do something. But then, look at this little boy. They were supposed to remove the tree from the road, but it started to rain, so they left the tree. But look at this little boy. When everyone is gone, not acting, he decides to act. A little boy, he decides to act. And because of his action, other children also begin to act. And more and more. To send a message that you're not too little to make a difference. And together they were able to lift the tree off the road. So makofi ya kila mtoto hapa, tunasema you can be at the forefront of changing this country, and we need you as we celebrate your rights. Now we are ready to launch. National Administration of Justice Status Report on Children in the Justice System in Kenya, and Faith and Children's Rights Multi-Religious Study by Arigato and UNICEF. We start the process. Ladies and gentlemen, tusimame wote as we witness this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, makofi tafadhali. The launch of the National Council on Administrative Justice Status Report and Children's Rights Multi-Religious Study by Arigato and UNICEF inakuja kutoka juu. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Asante sana. Aya, all the guests, asante sana. And we have a pledge that will be read out and later on will be signed by His Excellency, the President. Asante sana. Asante sana. Asante sana. Asante sana. We're celebrating children's rights, celebrating 30 years of commitment. Asante sana. After this, we have lunch at the Tintin. So the judges, the facilitators, please, members of the task force, wote mjitayarishe tuelekee Tintin for lunch. There is a card you have that you're putting on. Please keep it. Let us all meet at the Tintin. The badge you have that you're wearing, that will be your ticket to Tintin. Keep that badge. Asanteni sana kwa kuja.